Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mathilde, I'm a French knitter, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Now, it's been a few weeks, I won't say, since I filmed a video, so I'm feeling a little bit rusty, but if you don't know, I've had shoulder pain, arm pain, which meant that I couldn't knit for a few weeks, and so I just didn't really feel like talking about something that I couldn't do, which was knitting. So I just didn't feel that motivated to film and edit videos, so I decided to take a break, even though I had plans to film videos. I just, when you don't feel like it, it doesn't make sense to push through it. So I hope that makes sense. But I'm really excited today to talk to you about my spring knitting plans. Now, it feels a little bit crazy to talk about spring knitting plans because it's actually snowing right now, even though it's one day after, spring technically started. I think it started yesterday, yeah. Even though it's actually snowing outside, I'm still feeling pretty excited about my spring knitting plans, especially I think because I haven't been able to knit for a month. I'm like ready to carry on. First, let's take a look at what I've actually knit on from my winter knitting plans, and then we can start mood boarding my spring knitting plans. Now, if you don't know, I use an app called Milanote. It's a free app. This is not sponsored, although I do kind of wish it was, because I've been using Milanote for a while and I absolutely love it. But this is the app that I use to make my mood board, so I will link the name of the app down below as well if you're interested. As always, I'm actually going to be looking at my screen a little bit whilst we do this, but let's talk about my winter knitting plans and what I ended up finishing or not from what I had planned. So the first one we can probably take a look at are my Kitten catch mittens, which I did manage to complete. They are so cute. I'm in love with them. I love the yarn that I used for this. So that was Bûches le Petit Lambswool, which was my first time using it. I did get the yarn for free, but that was because I won a giveaway, not because of this channel. And I'm really excited to use that yarn in another project on this mood board for spring. And then I paired it with a mohair from Knitting for Olive, which is the self-silk mohair for the cream, which is this one, and then the Isager mohair in the colorway 36, I want to say, which was leftover from a test knit. And I absolutely love this project. I haven't worn them that much just because I'm not actually going outside that much, but when I do go outside and it's quite cold, they're really great. They're a tiny bit bigger than I had planned, but I didn't make a swatch, so that's on me. But yeah, loved this project. Next up, maybe let's carry on talking about colorwork projects, and that was my Harriet sweater by Lene Holmesemse or Lynette. I knitted this in Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair and merino in the colorway Bordeaux and Cream, which is my favorite combination. I absolutely adore it, both in terms of yarn but also color combo. I love a deep burgundy with a cream, like a crisp cream, and this yarn softens up so much in blocking. It's incredible. It doesn't peel. I mean, so far I'm absolutely obsessed, and I ended up knitting this one with less positives than intended. I think I got around 15 centimeters instead of the recommended, I don't know, 30 to 40 centimeter, and I really like the fit that it gives me. So I've got a project vlog for this if you're interested to know more about it. I will link it somewhere here. But yeah, this one is a success as well. I've been wearing it a ton, and even though, I mean, it's snowing right now, but for a little bit we got a lot of sun and a little bit of a warmer weather, and I've been still wearing it because even though it still feels quite like a winter knit because of that zelbu, I think it's called, like flower motif or snowflake motif, depending on how you view it, and the color choice that I made, I still feel like I can still get away with wearing it in at least the beginning of spring, so that's nice. Then let's talk about my birthday knit, which is the Elisabeth blouse by Petite knit. I knitted it in Classic by Cardiff Cashmere in the colorway Nero, and I love this one as well. I mean, obviously it's knitted in cashmere, so it's really, really nice to wear. It's really soft, but also it's not too warm, it's not too cold. So I haven't been wearing it a ton because I'm a little bit of a chilly girl and I need my warmth, so it's not that warm for me to wear, but it feels like it elevates an outfit directly, like, yeah, that much more elevated, that much more elegant. I really, really like this. I'm hoping to get more wear out of it in the spring though, but I really enjoyed knitting this, and I also have a project vlog for this on my channel, so I will link it up above as well. Now we are going to be talking about some knits that I did not finish and one that I didn't even start. So let's first talk about the ones that I did not finish. First one let's take a look at is the November vest by Petite, which I'm knitting in Gilliatt by Natura in the colorway Blue, which is, first of all, a really gorgeous denim blue color, like quite light denim blue color. And I'm knitting this vest for my grandmother. I think it's just gonna fit her so well. But it is a complete brioche knit. It takes a while. It's knitted in a size larger than what I usually make for myself, and brioche knit in particular is what makes my shoulder hurt more. So I've been taking a break. I've put this into hibernation. I might get back to it, I might forget. It all depends on when I do actually get back into it, whether it does still hurt me or not. If it does, I'm just not gonna push it, but I would really, really like to finish it. It's just going into the naughty corner for now. And then similarly, this is the Dagmar sweater by Petite Knit, which I'm knitting in Yelholt Triple by Yelholt Ulspindery. This is always hard to say, in the colorway Charcoal, or I think it's 44 the number. This is a really gorgeous rustic yarn. It's quite itchy, but I think it's going to be perfect for this cable project, which I'm really excited about. But again, it does hurt my shoulder a little bit, and again, it's snowing, but I do still feel like spring is coming, and so if I'm putting this one aside for a little bit. I might pick it up again in April or May, but as for now, I'm starting to be able to knit a little bit more, or a little bit again, but I can't push it, so this one is also going to be in the corner for a little while, but I am hoping to pick it back up again soon. And finally, we have got one project left on this mood board, and that is the sweater number 15. Nope. Yes, I think it's sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, which I want to knit in Le Petit Lambswool, as I said earlier. I think the colorway name is medium blue, and I want to pair it with Isager Mohair. I think the colorway name is 44, but everything will be on the screen and down below as always, because I haven't looked at these yarns in a while, so they're not coming right away to my mind. The Isager Mohair was sent to me by Isager for a test knit, but they actually ended up sending me the wrong colorway. I wanted a deeper, darker blue for that test knit, so they let me keep this one. So this is technically sponsored, but not really. But I did buy the Le Petit Lambswool myself, and I'm really excited about this knit. I think it's going to be great for spring, so I'm going to keep it on the mood board here because I think I would like to start it quite soon. Maybe not soon, but I don't know. We'll talk about that with another project I'm going to talk about. So now, not pictured are other knits that I did actually end up knitting, like this project or this pattern that I'm wearing right now, which is the Legs V-neck pullover by Ozetta. I knitted this in Gilliatt by Natura, but in the colorway Tempête, which is a darker, a little bit more navy blue yarn, which I knitted as part of the cal that I'm running along Ends in It on Instagram, which is called the Navy Cal, which you can still join. It's running up until end of April, so about a month left over. If you want to join, it's, you know, whips, finished objects are welcome, whatever you want to participate with. and we've got an Instagram group chat that you can join as well. So I have not pictured it here because it wasn't really planned, but I really needed a mindless stockinglet project, and this one was perfect, and I'm really happy with the result. I've also got a project blog for this, so if you want to hear more about it, I will also link it somewhere here. And finally, I cast on, a pair of socks, a baby knit, like small little projects that were not on the plans really, but still things that I wanted to make. That we'll talk about more in the next podcast. So let's start planning the spring mood board. I'm gonna keep the color palettes here, but we'll move them as we go, or we'll change the colors as we go. So let's first talk about a project that is going to be a long-lasting one. It's one I've actually already talked about in podcast before because I've actually cast this on, but it's going to be one that takes a while, and that is the Girl Dress by Vert Knit. Now I'm putting this one front and center because, as I said, it's going to be one that takes me a while. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited to move on to the next step in that pattern. So the Girl Dress, if you don't know, is a lovely v-neck kind of wrap dress with spaghetti straps, but you can modify it to whatever you want. For example, it's supposed to be a backless dress, but I'm going to add back panels to have more coverage, and then it's kind of an A-line dress that you can knit to the length that you want to. I'm going to knit it to my ankle, or as long as possible, and I want to knit this for a wedding I'm attending. It's in September, so I've still got quite a bit of time, but I would like to actually get started on the skirt. I finished the first 2 front panels. Now I'm ready to join them in the round at the waist and start the waist shaping, and I would like to, at least in a month, I would like to have started the skirt part, because I think the skirt is going to take a while, and it's knit on really small needles. I think I'm knitting it on 3mm needles, and it's one that I know I will need breaks from time to time. I'm knitting it in Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Olive, and I think it's a really good color against my skin tone, against my hair color. I think it's going to be great, and I love that yarn. I've used it a couple of times before for summer tops. I'm excited to use it for a dress and see kind of how that compares, because I'm going to be sitting on it rather than just wearing it next to skin. I'm curious to know how that's going to wear over time. And yeah, I'm filming a project vlog for this as well, so that's going to be a journey. And let me know if you're knitting this one as well, because it's quite a complex one, I'm not gonna lie. But next up, let's talk about something that I did cast on in the winter, but I'm far from being done with it, and that is another sweater. Okay, so the next sweater that I want to hopefully finish in spring is the Zipper Sweater Light Man by Petite Knit. I'm knitting this in the Fibre Company's Cumbria Fingering in the colorway Blend Cathra, held with the Sunday Fibre Co. Surrey Lace in the colorway Natural Wonder, which is, I think, their undyed Surrey Lace. It's a really gorgeous combination because the Cumbria Fingering has a little bit of mohair in it, and then the Surrey Lace is obviously very soft. I'm obsessed with Surrey Lace. I want to try to use a little bit more, just not in every project because it's a little bit more expensive than mohair, and mohair is already quite expensive, so that's not doable. But I wanted to use Surrey Lace for this project in particular rather than mohair, because I think it's just going to be a sweater that I wear very easily because of the color. It's going to be quite versatile, but also it's going to be really cozy. And because it's a zipper, I wanted the zipper part, or the neckline, to be a little bit soft and just overall really warm, really cozy sweater. I've knitted this pattern before for my partner, so that's why I'm using the man version of the pattern, and on not the woman, because I already own the pattern. I don't think there's that much difference in the shaping, especially because this is a raglan and I want this to be oversized and cozy, so I don't really care if it's not perfect for my body type. I'm on the yoke, so I'm still quite early on in the pattern. I finished the neckline. Obviously I will have to add the zipper in afterwards, but I'm not finished with the yoke part around the zipper anyways. And I'm really excited to have this simple stockinette projects on the needles. I think it's good to have, I mean, I always love having a sweater project on the needles, even when it's really warm and hot in the summer. Obviously right now it's not, but yeah, I think especially if I have the sweater number 15 next to it, like, it's going to be a little bit more involved. Not that much, because the cables are not that, you know, different or frequent. So I think the sweater number 15 is a little bit more of a mindless project than other cable projects, but yeah, I'm excited about this. Now, that being said, there are a couple of actually spring and summer projects that I want to cast on as well in the coming weeks, and the first one is the square neck camisole by Garnslicht. I absolutely adore this camisole. I think this was one of the first patterns that I came across when I first started knitting, and I was like, I want this in my wardrobe. I think it's gonna be perfect for the summer and spring. I think it's gonna fit me really well. And I decided to also use a navy blue yarn for this, which is why I want to cast this on quite soon, because I would like this to be part of the navy cal I'm running. So this is a 3x3 ribbing camisole with a square neckline, and I love that it's got quite wide straps, you know, able to cover bra straps, but also it's got a little bit of negative ease, so it's going to be quite close fitting. I'm going to be using Sunday by Sandnes Garn in the colorway, I want to say marine blue, but I'm not sure. I'll put it on the screen as always. And I think navy blue is just such a gorgeous color for the summer month as well. I think it's perfect for all year round, which I love. And it's a merino blend. I think it's 100% extra fine merino, so it's not quite a summer yarn, but I think I can get away with it because it's not overly warm here in the summer, especially where I live. It can get pretty warm, but I think there are definitely days where I could get away with it. And I don't think I've got a fully 100% merino wool fingering weight summer top in my wardrobe, so I'm excited to also see, like, does that fit, or actually no, you should stick to summer yarn even where I live. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think it's going to pay off really, really well. I didn't mention actually, but I am in the process of learning to knit continental, which I think is going fairly well, but it does mean that even though I've had swatches for example, the sweater number 15 and the square neck camisole already, I'm swatching again with that new continental knitting, because I do think my gauge is changing, or like my tension is changing a bit. So I'm in the process of doing another swatch for this to see which needle size to use. But I think this one is going to be my next cast on, and I'm really, really excited about it. I like knitting summer projects, but they're not my complete favorite. Like, I think sweater knitting is my absolute favorite, so that's what I'm going to stick to doing all year round, even if it's 30 degrees outside. But some of those summer projects, I'm really, really excited, and this one in particular, because I've had it on my mind for so long, I'm really excited to get started on it. I think all of these projects are on my make line as well, so if I can complete all of them in the next couple of months, even if I finish them at the beginning of summer or in summer, that's really exciting. So love that for me. The last knit that I'm going to put on the board, as I said, there are a lot of other things I would like to make, but I'm still being mindful of my arm, so I don't want to overdo it. That's still quite a lot already to have 4 projects. I'm going to add a 5th one, especially considering only 2 of them are started. You know, that's ambitious, I think, for me. but I would really like to make myself a pair of self-drafted shorts. So I drew this really ridiculous drawing of the vision that I have for this pair of shorts. Now, it's gonna be my first time ever self-drafting anything, let alone a pair of shorts. I've never knitted a pair of shorts, and I'm gonna be using yarn that's not, I think, ideal for a pair of shorts, because I'm gonna be using Knitting for Olive Merino in the colorway Cream and Licorice, and this merino wool, it doesn't have any nylon, or it's not got obviously mohair in it, so because I'm going to be sitting on this quite a lot, there's going to be a lot of friction. It's probably going to get ruined, you know, not fast, but at one point. And I did debate buying sock yarn to make these, but I think I'm going to stick to what I have, because I've got this yarn in my stash already. I've got a specific dye lot for them, so if I wanted to buy more to make a sweater instead, the dye lot might change. And so I just decided, you know what, this is an experiment, might be a little bit of an expensive experiment, and might be a little bit of a not the greatest choice that I can make, but I've decided that's what I want to try to do. And the thing is, this is inspired by a pair of shorts that I've got that are, you know, ready to wear, a store-bought shorts, and they come with a lovely summer sweater as well. And so I think I would also like to make that summer sweater in that same yarn combination, which will be fingering weight, which will be long to make, but yeah, I've got a vision for it, and so we'll see. But I think this is going to be something that's going to take a lot out of me in terms of mental energy and math, which I'm not very good at. But it's something I'm really eager to try. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I would have tried at least, and I will have given it my best. And you've got to try, even if you fail. There's nothing wrong with failing if you've tried, and if you've given it your all, and if it's satisfying to you to do this. And if you like, I would rather do it and regret having done it than just regret not having done it, if that makes sense. So that was a whole tangent, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think I've got a good combination of spring knits, but also all year round knits with the sweaters. I think I've got a good color palette as well, so I'm gonna fix this mood board a little bit because I'm not loving how it's looking, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, I think this is looking a little bit better now. I will say, I don't think the color combination really screams spring, so we'll see what else I cast on that will be a little bit of a more colorful palette. But you know, I've got a little bit of blues, a little bit of the olive green, and those are kind of the colors that I think fit really well in my color palette, even though they're not especially spring-like. So I'm still excited to knit on these, and we're sticking to more neutral colors because I love having neutral elements in my wardrobe because they're really easy for me to style and to wear, so that's important to me. Now, let me know if you also are making a mood board this spring, because I know some of you are inspired to make some when I share them. Let me know what you're planning on knitting, or if you would rather, you know, go all out and cast on impulsively. I also love doing that. As I said, I love making mood boards and planning things, but sometimes you just want to cast on something that wasn't necessarily in the plans, that maybe you didn't have yarn for in your stash. That's one thing I didn't mention, but all of these I will be knitting with yarn from stash, and I'm also excited about that. Now, as I said, I'm not sure whether I'm going to cast on the sweater number 15 first or the square neck camisole. I'm really hesitating because I love both. I really want to start knitting both. I really have so much whips, so I don't want to cast on too many things, so I don't want to cast on both at the same time. So that's why I'm leaning more towards the square neck camisole, because first up, if I knit it now, at least start it, it's going to be able to enter my navy cal, which is good, but also it's a summer top. It's going to be on small needle size, so it's going to take me a bit longer. It's a different shaping than a sweater, and I've already got the zipper sweater Lightman on the needles, so all of that is making me go towards the square neck camisole. But let me know what you would like to see me knitting more. I think that wraps it up for the mood board. I'm really excited about this, and I'm really excited to get back into knitting and into filming a little bit more, so I'm excited to take you along with me, and I hope you're excited to watch. As always, let me know what you've been knitting on whilst watching this video. I always love to hear it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!